Hi.
I apologize. I thought I'd be back by 9 o'clock, and the morning just got a little crazy. You know.
I want to put you through a series of tests here to see how sincere you are with your apology.
Fair enough. I'll allow it.
Thank you. Okay. Do you have a coffee made? You fucking asshole. You're 5 minutes later. I was just complaining about you. I go, this motherfucker could be here now, but he's doing a pour over that takes 12 and a half minutes.
It was an espresso. It took like a minute, pal.
You probably set there's probably somewhere where you have to set a timer and your coffee sits or does something for like you know what I mean? Like, and you probably could have been like, well, I could do it for 90 seconds instead of 2 minutes, but you're like, nope, I'm still going the full 2 minutes.
No, I did not. I apologize. No, I did not. I actually went espresso instead of a pour over because it's faster. It literally takes about an hour, like a minute, 1 minute.
So you could have been here 1 minute sooner, but you would have an uncaffeinated version.
I know it would not be as good. I would definitely be way more boring. And I mean, that slick back hair is looking good, dude. It is looking good. God, man. You're how old? 62?
Yes. Hey, someone asked me why I'm not. They're like, hey, you don't have the man bun today. I'm like, yeah, I ain't taking that shit from Josh. I'm not putting that thing up.
Yeah,
so
he didn't want to hear the noise.
He can fucking make fun of me.
I'll tell you what, that hair is looking strong still, man. I applaud you.
And I shaved the sides. I went, there's this cut that's called a Viking dyke cut. It's like where you shave the sides and go around to the back and then pull it up. I know. And I was rocking that for a while. Dave Driscoll has it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know the show Vikings, right? The main character, that guy had it too.
He has it.
I think.
I think of like Craig Ritchie or Jared Stevens. Or
big Vikings.
Yeah, my wife liked that show Vikings.
I mean, when you're I did watch it, the first couple seasons of it. I liked it. When you're not a Viking, you have to have a haircut to make yourself feel like a Viking. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why I said that, I have this friend who happens to be a lesbian, and that she told me I asked her, I said, hey, you shave the sides of your head. Should I do that? She goes, yeah, go for the Viking dyke cut. And I went for it.
Good for you, man.
So I can say it. I got a pass straight from the.
Oh, you got a pass. Good deal.
Got a pass straight from the hood.
I'm glad to hear it.
I was hanging out with this rapper yesterday.
Okay.
And
do I know the rapper? Is he like
no?
famous?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. I don't think he doesn't have an album.
I'm not a big rap guy either. So I mean, I'm old school rap, but not new.
And listen, I was talking to a rapper at the Balboa Yacht Club. A white rapper at the Balboa Yacht Club.
Nice.
And we started talking about words and stuff. And he asked me if I had a pass because I told him I used to live in a neighborhood where I was the only white guy. He's like, "Did you ever get a pass?" I'm like, "I didn't."
Yeah, I don't think there's passes anymore. Anyways, I don't think that's a real thing.
I just do what I want to do, but I never actually got a.
I worked at a call center where I was one of probably there was probably a couple thousand people who worked there, and I would bet there's less than 10 white people.
Were the Vietnamese?
No, African American.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
And what were you guys doing? Were you doing collections?
No, it was for the phone company. It was a telemarketer, basically. You know, you called up SBC, or you would call up people who had the telephone company that we worked for, and you try to offer them call waiting, call forwarding, caller ID. Remember that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Crazy. Do you use the feature on the iPhone where, let's say like you and I were talking and then like someone else were to call on the phone and you merge people in, or would you ever like call two people? Like sometimes I'll like, if I'm talking to like one person and someone else calls, I just merge them in. Like even if it's like let's say me and you were talking and my wife called, I might just merge her in and she'd be like, hey, can you pick up some meat on the way home? And I'd be like, yeah, sure.
But you're, and
she'd be like, hi, and then you'd be like, hi, Miss Matosi. And she'd be like, hi, Josh.
That's
you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say that.
Like, hey,
that's
girl.
The thing is, I wouldn't say,
hey, girl, hey, honey.
Yeah.
What's up? Hey?
Yeah.
Do you use that? Do you use the three-way? Do you do three-way on your phone?
No, I don't think I ever have. No. I mean, I've done like FaceTime where you have like multiple people. on a call, but never like just straight phone calls where you're merging. I think you're the only
Seals,
person I've ever even seen do it.
you see, seals that you got all sorts of weird, quirky shit. Like that would be too intimate to you for you, a 3-way. And you guys, you don't use emojis probably either, right?
Very rarely. It's definitely like I've started using. I don't use emojis like on my own to where I'm like popping up a little picture at the bottom, but I'll do the, when you click on it and you can like heart it, haha, thumbs up thing.
Yeah.
I'll do that now. But that's about as heavy as it goes.
I was on a group text the other day, and someone said something, and Dave Castro gave it a thumbs up, like the kind that, and I couldn't even fucking believe it. But it was still kind of like, the dickhead seal thing that you guys do. Like that's like as much as he could be bothered, even though like, I was, wow, that's really emotional. He's really made himself vulnerable with the thumbs up. But on the other hand, it's still like, hey, dude, you probably should have said a little bit more than a thumbs up.
I think that was it. That was all that needed to be said.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was a thread that I'm on with Tyson Bagent and Travis Bagent, right? Mm-hmm. Travis is like, yeah, basically looks like my son's going to the NFL. And Dave's like,
that's pretty cool.
Not like, holy fuck, you were right. I'm sorry I didn't believe in him all along.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw the Sports Center thing that they did on his son. That was really cool. And Travis was on there.
Can you fucking believe it? A Division II quarterback.
That's awesome.
And it looks like he's going to be the backup quarterback for the fucking Chicago Bears.
That's really cool. My son just started playing tackle football. He just had his first game the other day.
I don't approve.
I know. I didn't either, really. I wasn't really ready for it, but now I am, and now I'm fired up. And so I watched the Swamp Kings. Did you watch that documentary on Tim Tebow?
No, good.
The Florida Gators. Oh my gosh, like it got me fired up.
Okay, so tell me how that happens. I want to know how you. It's like one thing. Like I'm at the beach here, right? And me and the boys, we walk 3 miles, and it's 95 degrees, and we go by a fucking shaved ice stand, and they're like, "Can we get shaved ice?" And I break. And when I ordered, I'm like, "Hey, dude, as much sugar as you would put in normally in one shaved ice, put that much, but divide it over 3. Like, I want you to make it so I hate you and think I got ripped off. I don't even care if you just give them ice. Do not put a lot of sugar, right? Yeah. But I still broke. Yeah. How do you break to let your boy play football, knowing, for those of you who don't know, if you don't have kids, like the only thing you want to protect on your kid is his head.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're just like, that's the worst. You'd rather like they lose an arm. You don't want the head taking any shots.
Yeah, true. He's in 8th grade. He's older. He's not like a 6th or 7th grade. And me and his mom, we talked for years, and we kept saying no, because he's been wanting to play tackle football since like 6th grade. I was like, no. And then finally in 8th grade, it was just like, okay, if he wants to play football, I'm not going to stop him from playing football. So if he's going to go into high school, I kind of wanted to have him just kind of 1 year under his belt, because he's played flag football for 2 years now. This is 3rd year playing football. And
what position?
Well, I mean, right now they have him at fullback and middle linebacker. He's not a big guy, but he's really athletic. And so he's kind of being underutilized for his athleticism, but his coaches don't know him. And I kind of feel bad. I mean, it's on us, but I'm also not that upset because I protected his head, like you were saying, for 2 years. And so basically it just came to a point where like me and his mom were like, okay, like he's going to play tackle football like in high school. If that's what he wants to do, I'm not going to stop him. And let's give him 1 year, and then we can, we got him like a better helmet than he was issued. We went out and bought a nicer helmet, and, we're doing everything that we can. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's, if he wants to play football, I'm going to let him play football. I'm not going to stop him from doing that. I don't think that it's, I don't think that it's something that I can be like, no, you just can't play it. I don't want to be that dad, because I'd let him play hockey. I'd let him play anything else, right? And there's a lot of contact.
You let him fight. You let him wrestle.
Yeah, exactly. I let him wrestle.
You let him box, right?
I let him put boxing gloves on, exactly. So why not? If he wants to play football, that's what his buddies are doing. That's what he's into right now. I'm all about it. So I just, I held off as long as I could, and me and his mom both just decided that we were okay with him doing 1 year of it, so before high school.
So it's not a school league. It's like a city league or something. Or
Well, it's technically it is. It's under his middle school's team name, but
okay,
they I don't think they're actually affiliated with the school. I think it is more of a, I don't even know what to call it, little league football, you know.
fullback and linebacker. Those are defense dudes.
Fullback is offense, and then so he plays both sides. They're kind of a smaller team because they live in a smaller town, and so he plays fullback. And fullback is like it's basically the guy who stands in front of the running back and blocks. And they'll do short down.
I thought that was a tight end. If that's not a tight end, is a fullback and a tight end the same guy?
No, the tight end is more of like a wide receiver position, and they're on the line, and they're actually on the line.
Tight end's the white guy, the wide receiver are the black guys.
Well, they're both. They can be either. You know what?
The sport's not divided by race like that.
They're not. No, you don't have to be a certain...
I haven't watched since the 80s.
No, so yeah, but fullback is more of like a blocking position.
Did you just picture like where you're like, no, I know 3 black tight ends and I actually know 3 white wide receivers? You're like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, right. All right, fine,
yeah.
fuck you.
Man. I know, man.
When I think of tight end, I'll tell you, I think of Todd Christensen from the Raiders.
Okay.
White guy. And when I think of wide receiver, I think of Jerry Rice from the 49ers.
What about Antonio Gates?
No, don't know who that is. Don't get crazy.
Tight end from the Chargers.
Don't get all crazy on me.
Christian McCaffrey. You want to talk about breaking any stereotype right there? He's a white running back.
Don't know him. How many Asian football players do you know? So Islanders don't count.
There's a kicker for Notre Dame. The kicker
really?
Notre Dame was Asian a couple years ago. I can't remember.
What's his name? Did he have an Asian name? Like
I don't remember.
Lee or some shit. He better have, or I'm not believing it.
I'm like so terrible with names. I can't remember what his name was, but he was the kicker for Notre Dame.
Hey, I want to come back to your kids because I'm very curious about. I want to talk more about the football, but someone said to me that the reason why basketball players make more money from sponsorship than football players, I don't even know if that's true, but that's what this person started, was because football players wear helmets, and so you can't see them. And basketball, go ahead.
There's also more players on the field for NFL. Right, there's more football players on a field.
The money gets distributed over a wider variety of guys are vying for the same pile of sponsorship versus basketball's got like 5 dudes.
I mean, I don't know. I have zero. Like I don't have any idea. I don't know many football players or basketball players in the NBA or NFL, and so I really have no idea. But I feel like it's probably a little harder to, if you're not a position player like a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, or a big name defensive player, I bet it's pretty hard to get, some big sponsorships from, because you're right. They don't see your face. They don't know who you are sometimes. And then where NBA, you got 5 guys on the court and no mask on, no helmet on. And they are more out there, right? Like they're more exposed. Like people know who they are just by their face. Where I think the NFL is probably a little bit like that. NHL is probably a little like that too.
Oh, I was wondering, because they wear helmets too.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering what's going on because the comments stopped, and I was like, how come people aren't making fun of Josh? And because the comments have stopped. Well, that sucks. I mean, I can see him over here. I just can't pull him up anymore. Jeffrey Birchfield, God.
That man's always there, baby.
Yeah.
Supporting.
Oh, my God. And Harry balls on you. I searched in Google 2 goats talking, and it brought me to this page. God damn, you're good, Harry. Oh, my God. How come I can't bring this shit up? What is going on? I wonder if I left the show and came back really quick, if you'd still be here. Will you hold on one second?
You want me to what?
You're gonna run the show for a second just by yourself.
Yeah, let's go. I got this.
I'm gonna reload the page. Oh shit! I'm nervous.
Here we go. All right, fire off some questions if the comments are coming in. I'll answer some questions. Let's go.
Okay. The comments are back. Thank you, God. Did Josh fuck anything up? You didn't say anything racist or controversial or sexy.
Josh Nelly from the Looney Proud.
Okay. We're back. Good. Okay. Here we go. Sean Lenderman. We got to catch up. Navy uses the hell out of the fullback. They run a ton of triple option.
That's right.
Really? You know football like that? You even know what about the Navy football team?
Navy football team basically runs the ball almost every play. They actually just played Notre Dame on Saturday, and they got their aces kicked by my boys, my ND boys.
Oh, look at Patrick Clark, Dat Ning Gwen. I think that's a Korean name.
Yeah, it might be him.
Wow. That Ning Gwen name is like fuck. Like
it was not Nguyen, it's Win, right?
Oh, whatever. However you pronounce it, you could fill a whole.
I had a chief win in the teams.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Westerland, white boys are really not only Joe Westerland, white boys are really only not allowed. God, what kind of fucking sentence is that? No, can he write? He's from fucking Omaha. Who writes like that? White boys are really only not.
How about you just learn how to read? It's top to
white
bottom.
Boys are really
top to bottom, left to right. All
right. Josh made it to the 3rd grade.
That's right.
White boys are really only not allowed at corner. What a mess. Ronnie Lott was a linebacker for the 49ers. I don't know if that's true, but I know that he tackled people.
Mike Allstott. That's the fullback right there that I always remembered. He's for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So your son is getting good. He's playing a team sport. He's getting good athletic training. He's getting to go to the practice. He's learning the sport. He's getting the team camaraderie, all that shit. Yep. And he's getting fitter. But he's not getting the play time that maybe he would want or you would want. But part of you is kind of like, good. He's getting everything I like about it, the sport, except he's not having to take the shots to the dome.
Yeah, I mean, he also does kick return too, which is that's kind of make it hit pretty hard on that one. And then I would like to see him at running back. He's so fast and agile and quick, but they have another good running back too. So, and the kid's been on the team for 3 years. And so, but that's good, man. I want him to have to struggle. I want him to have to work to get stuff. I don't want everything just handed to him. And so I've been telling him that. I'm like, he's like, he was trying out for running back and they put him at fullback. And I'm like, that's good, man. Like, you're not just going to walk on to anything and get handed the shit that you want. Sometimes you're going to have to work for it and show your coaches. And I'm like, so guess what? There's only 2 times that you can show your coaches anything about you as an athlete. And that's going to be in games and at practice. So you got to go hard no matter what, right? There's no time off. There's no taking it easy during practice. Like, if you want to show your coaches that you want to play something else, you better show them that you're capable of doing it. And to do that, you got to do it at practice.
And those kids, he's also competing against kids who the coach knows is known for forever.
For a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God, my StreamYard is all fucked up. This is crazy.
Hashtag nobody cares.
Yeah, that's probably true. I just feel bad because I can't pull up anyone's comments. It says no on my screen. It says no one's watching. And the comments have stopped. It's so weird. All right, fine. Fuck it. I just look over here on YouTube. There are people watching, though, I think, right? It's not just me and you hanging out.
Probably just 2 of us.
Oh. Well, then, hey, here's something I want to ask you. What's the deal with Good Dudes? Are Good Dudes and Paper Street, have they teamed up?
Yeah, we're kind of like teaming up. It's still obviously going to be Good Dudes Coffee, but Gabe is kind of taking over operations with Good Dudes.
Did you guys ask me about that before you talked to my guy?
I don't ever have to ask you about anything. That's the thing. That's the thing.
I noticed at the games.
Yeah, we had some cold brew there.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, we are cool. I know you must have felt like a real boy again, being at the games, get with your camera behind the scenes. Oh man. Have you released any of that stuff? Or is it still getting worked on?
No, not really. Maybe some like photos and some clips and shit. But someone has started putting it together. And I saw the funniest clip the other day. It's in the underground in Madison, and it shows Don and Dave talking, and then like Dave has to take off to go do something, and he goes to give fucking Don knuckles, and Don's already distracted and like looking at something else, so he just leaves Dave hanging, and Dave's like, and then Dave just leaves, right? But it's those nuances that like no one would ever get to see. Yeah. So someone said, the guy who's putting it together sent me a clip of that, and we all started laughing.
That's hilarious.
Or there's like I saw another clip where Dave's trying to drive the Gator, and he can't get it in reverse and shit, and it's all fucked up. And Nicole Christensen's like just mouthing like to me, "He can't drive or shit. I should be driving." It's so funny, but it's all those moments that people I think are gonna want to see. And
yeah, for sure, it's the fun stuff, man. Like I actually did that. That's funny. I dropped a YouTube video yesterday, and it's me and my sons. I'm training my sons actually for sport more. And,
sorry. Will you hold on? Sorry. Dave, hi. You're live on the air. I'm with Josh Bridges. Do you want to say anything to your buddy?
Who am I live with?
I don't know. It's 600 people in Josh Bridges.
What's up, Josh?
What's up, Dave?
He said, "What's up, Dave?"
He was just telling you a story.
Do you hear me?
No, yeah, he can hear you. You can't hear him.
Am I really live?
Yeah, you're really. Yeah, because I've never done this, right? Yeah, you're really live. But I figured one of your buddies was on here that you guys used to wear Navy clothes together.
Good talk. He hung
All right,
up.
nice talking to you. Oh, he did hang up.
I told you. Yeah, it was kind of obvious.
I'm in big trouble for that.
Yeah, good call.
I'm in big trouble for that.
You're fired again.
Yeah.
Are you working back with CrossFit or no?
No.
Dude, your girlfriend didn't take you back. Okay.
No, not dude.
Just sure.
So I sent in a proposal to ask if I could do the behind the scenes.
Mhm.
It went back and forth, and they finally said yeah. And then there was this concern that like I was going to show up there like, I don't know, like with a swastika on my face and my fucking KKK robe or some shit. They put out a
Hey,
what? Oh, sorry. Hold on. Hey.
I like it. Just take calls while we're on a fucking call on a podcast.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I'm gonna call you back in 2 seconds.
2 seconds. The podcast can be over by then. We only got 2 more seconds left. Good talk.
No, hold on. Just give me a second.
Why is your background just white now? What's that all about?
Dude, I'm not at home. I'm in Newport Beach, bro.
Oh, that's right.
Living the dream.
That's right. You told me that.
Hey, and that's why you're on the show, because I always tell Sousa, get me the easiest fucking guest when I'm not home. So like I can like drink all day and not have to prepare and shit. Josh Bridges, I go cue that motherfucker up.
Cue him up.
Bring me the big numbers that come with Josh.
That's right.
Here we go.
Who we talking to?
Now we can hear him.
Is this Dave?
Yeah.
You're calling me too.
Oh, I call. Oh. I got my fucking seals all mixed up.
Dippity dipshit.
God, I'm dumb.
This is going to be a bad show. This is going to get bad ratings, and I blame you.
That's fine. The show's gotten easier. I've done it so long now that I take all the listeners for granted, and I don't sweat when the show's going sideways anymore. I'm like, fuck, these guys
always
love
going
me.
sideways with you.
Yeah. These guys love.
Hello?
Mr. Castro, hi. You're live on the air.
Hey, I'm excited that you guys are patching up your relationship. Did you tell the world about your falling out and how you guys are rekindling your friendship?
You have him confused with someone else. This is Josh. This is Josh Bridges.
I know. Tell me about it. Tell me how you guys are repairing and working on it.
There's never.
What was the falling out of our relationship? I think Sevi was upset with me. I think you know more.
You guys talk it out. That's what I want to hear. I want you guys to talk it out.
Dave, be honest. Have I ever said anything bad about Josh Bridges to you ever?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's good to see you guys back together.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
Good to see you guys mending relationships and moving forward.
Shit starter.
I didn't realize we had a bad relationship. Oh, okay. Now I know. Good.
Well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate you helping facilitate our friend coming on here and helping us facilitate. We were just about to hit a big hiccup.
Yeah, we're about to get into it. Open up the doors.
Hey, Dave, Josh was just asking me if I work for CrossFit again. He heard I did the behind the scenes. He wanted to know that if I had been hired back.
You definitely have not been hired back. I know you think you want people to think that, but that is not the case. Hey, yeah. I'm pulling into the airport. Let me go.
Okay, I'm pulling into your mom. Okay, bye. Okay. Hey, dude, this fucking guy released a video on his YouTube channel. Like, hey, I'm not affiliated with CrossFit is not paying him, not affiliated with him, and doesn't endorse his shit. Like, just straight up fuck you, like to the world, for any misconception. And Don sent out an email to all the staff at HQ, basically letting them know, like, that he is not back.
About you.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. That's funny.
The most toxic man in CrossFit is not back.
I can see that.
Dude, I had so much fun.
I bet it was
Dude,
a good time.
athletes were, yeah.
I bet they were like stoked to see you.
Dude, people were loving on me so hard. It was great. It was great.
It's probably what you needed. You've needed that for years. It's probably why you seem a little more chill now than like before, where you're just like so fired up, amped up. You weren't getting that attention. You know, daddy wasn't putting his arms around you and telling that he loved you.
That's not exactly.
Yeah, I think it was.
Why can't you go with something like you were insecure because you were a little bit on the outside and now you've been accepted? So why does it have to be a daddy story?
Because we all know.
You're back to your son. What about your younger son? How are you going to stop him from doing the old? Well, he plays football.
Well, he doesn't get to play until 8th grade if he wants to play.
Okay. And,
so,
and
I mean, it's like
I can't. His older brother is playing.
You know, it's funny. At first, he was like, "No." He's like, "I don't want." He's like, "Dad, I don't think I want to play football." And I'm like, "That's cool, man. You don't have to play football. You don't have to do exactly what your brother did. I want you to be you and figure out what you want to do for yourself." And I think now he's actually like watching it, and my little guy is like really into working out. Like he loves, like he's got goals in the gym. He wants to hit certain numbers on certain lifts, and just he wants to get big because he's a little bit thinner. Then my older son is built more like me, like straight out of the womb. He had muscles on his body, and my little guy, he's just a little leaner. And so he's like, I don't want to be that way. I want to be strong, and which is cool. It's cool to see. And so, he's like getting a little more fired up now, watching the first game and stuff. And I think we were sitting, we go out and we get sun in the morning, get sun in our face right off the bat. And he's like, I'm like, what are you thinking? You thinking you still want to play? You want to play football at some point or not? Still no. And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And so we'll see. I don't care if he plays.
Is he doing
football.
basketball? Is he doing basketball?
Yeah, they both play basketball. Both play baseball. Baseball is like their, I guess, main focus, but it's definitely not to that point where we're like just one sport. I'm like, I won't allow that just yet. Like I want them playing multiple sports. I want them becoming well-rounded athletes. And so yeah, right now I think he's just bored too right now because he's actually taking a season off because we had a long summer of baseball. And before that he did basketball and then he did spring basketball too. So at the beginning of baseball, he was doing baseball and basketball. And so it was kind of a lot. Like there was 0 days off, and he was definitely like needing a little bit of rest. But now he's like, okay, I'm tired of just hanging out. I want to be playing a sport again.
You obviously took CrossFit to the highest level, but would you want that? You had a full life before you did that.
Yeah.
And would you want that for your kid? Like people ask me, hey, would you want your kid to be a CrossFit Games athlete? And I'm like, absolutely not. But the caveat to that would be, well, yeah, if he was in the Navy first and he lived it's a completely different life. You know what I mean? It's like, and then.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that if that's something that
it's too hard, dude. It's too hard and too much work.
Okay, pussy.
Really, you start doing
it's too hard.
By this, I mean, okay, hard's not the right word.
Hard is what everyone says about everything. So
okay,
what are you talking about?
You're right. That was a horrible description. I don't want my kid from the age of 16 to 28 to only see the inside of CrossFit Invictus and wherever they decide to put. What
a terrible term! What a terrible gym to say.
CrossFit Mayhem. I don't want him to see the inside of CrossFit Mayhem from the time he's 17 to he's 28. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
he's going to be stupid. He's going to be a dumb kid.
That's not true. You think Justin Medeiros is dumb?
If he stays inside of just
he's been doing CrossFit for years.
Yeah, how old is he?
I don't know. If I had to guess, 24, 25.
I would think that he's not that worldly. I wish you would have used someone else. I like him. Can we use someone else?
No, that's who we have to use.
I mean,
because he was he was a teenage athlete too. Like he did the team division.
Right. Like I like the Colton Mertens.
Do you think he's struggling right now? Justin Medeiros?
Oh, for sure.
Financially?
No. Not financially. No.
I would have zero issues if my sons both became very passionate about CrossFit, saying, hey, I wouldn't, there's not a sport, there's not something that they would come up to me. That's not true. Most things.
What sport? What sport?
not a sport. I can't think of a sport that I'd be like, no, I don't want you to do that. You know, if that's something that they really, truly believe they loved and they wanted to dive into it.
I would personally be more interested if my kid was like, hey, dude, I'm really into sewing. I'm like, cool. What are you going to do? He's like, I want to get a sewing machine and I'm going to fucking dedicate a few years to it. And I'm going to start sewing my own fucking clothes. And
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Yeah. With fucking, I don't know. It just seems more,
So why are you hating on the sport though that gave you your notoriety? And all you did was have a camera in front of you.
I know, right? Well, the thing is I get to meet all these different people, and I get to cherry pick. I get to interview the guy who was the Navy SEAL and learn from him. I get to interview the guy who's the pig farmer while he's also doing CrossFit. But there is this stereotype that I hold in my head of these athletes that are just 10 years of working out in what should be the years where they're like walking barefoot in Afghanistan, meeting people, you know what I mean? Or like climbing Machu Picchu, or, you know what I mean? They should be like young and exploring, but instead they're just in the gym banging.
There's also a shelf life to being an athlete. Right. And so you're saying that they should be doing something else. But if that's their true passion, who are you to tell them what their passion should or shouldn't be? Right. If it's CrossFit, it's CrossFit, man. I owe so much to CrossFit, like what it's offered to me, what it's done for me.
But I think that, but yours was CrossFit for you was a facet.
True. Some part of it. Yes.
Although it did become all encompassing at times, it was a facet.
Yeah. I mean, I used it as a tool to join the Navy, to get myself prepared for being in the military. But
to heal from injuries, to make money, to share with your kids, to get life lessons. I mean, it was like so much.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things that CrossFit's done for me. And I would never steer my son away or anybody away from if they had a dream or goal to go to the CrossFit Games, because it's so much for me. And there's not a lot there. I mean, I've done some cool shit in my life, and being on that floor of the CrossFit Games is up there.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you. Okay. I won't poo-poo it. Sorry, I can't pull up your guys' money shit. I'm so sorry, Josh. That doesn't mean you should stop giving money. Josh, are you bringing back your pay him shirts? They have not been available for a long time. Are you fucking kidding me? Those aren't available?
Yeah, we got some coming right now. They should be here in the next week or so.
You hate your management? Do you want?
Let's get him on. Let's call him right now and get him on.
Who is it? Cooper?
Yeah, Coop.
You want me to call him and yell at him a little bit?
No, we got him coming. We had some other things. We have a shirt that's out there. There is a pay him shirt that's up there right now. The Liberty or Death one that we still have quite a few on that we put on sale.
Josh is the good dude. Hard is a chance to grow. Hard is a chance.
Top to bottom, left to right. We talked about this.
Josh is the good dude. Period. Hard stop. Hard is a chance to grow. Hard. Oh, I see. He's referencing the fact that I was saying that CrossFit's too hard. Yeah, that was a stupid. The way I said that. I just don't think it's Logan Ewing. As a former teenage competitor, I think it's gone overboard now. They're all homeschooled and do nothing but CrossFit just to quit at 19 years old. Moderation is key.
Nothing in moderation. Everything is extreme.
I agree. Fuck moderation. Thank you, Logan. That's a Roman.
Actually, I put a post up about that the other day. Balance will never get you to greatness. Can't be balanced. Balance is fucking is people's way of being like, oh, I need to be balanced. Just an excuse.
And you say the other day, oh, your Instagram account has grown. Just
a little bit.
You're not frozen anymore.
Yeah, it started to grow for a little bit. Now it's kind of, I think, I get people who like to not help me, let me grow.
Oh, over at the mothership?
I think so. I think so.
My kid's Instagram account has had the same number of followers for like 3 years. Yeah. And I post on it every day. I must not be. I don't know what I'm doing.
Obviously, he's not very good.
Yeah. There's a jiu-jitsu academy here in Newport Beach called AOJ, Art of Jiu-Jitsu, and they have a huge kids program, and they have on one section of the mat when I take my kids there, because we're visiting and my kids are training there, they have one section of the mat that is homeschooled kids.
Oh, really?
Who do 2 to 3 classes a day, every day. Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and guess what?
I mean, I see how much time is fucking wasted at my kids' school when they, well, especially during COVID when they were home, and you're like, Jesus, this is fucking insane. Like, my kids could be doing so much better shit with their time.
And guess what? Those kids are really good at jiu-jitsu.
I guarantee they are. Yeah.
Like
exactly.
I was
because they don't sit and waste time listening to their fucking classmates go around, say their name, and you know what their fucking favorite color of the wall picture of the wall is. I was like, I just heard my kids for an hour and a half literally listen to all the other kids in the class talk about what their fucking name was and what color, like their favorite color or something stupid like that. And I'm like, this is what we're teaching our kids at school right now. This is great.
That was on a Zoom call you heard?
Mm-hmm. It's insane, man. Like the amount of learning that's actually going on at school is fucking slim to none. But
when you go to these people's Instagram account, I went there, the Art of Jiu-Jitsu, in their competition class, and this is Southern California, right? This is like Costa Mesa, a hotbed of fucking jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And all the kids there took gold at their last tournament. All 8 kids in the comp class all took gold. Nice.
Yeah. I was just at the Tampa Bay games, the Fit Fest out there in Tampa Bay, and there was a little jiu-jitsu. So it was like the CrossFit competition was the biggest part of it. And then there was some strongman stuff. There was Olympic weightlifting. There was these dudes called like these fucking CT Fletchers guys, where they're like, they bench press like 700 pounds, 800 pounds. They do like 225. Well, it was cool. It was a cool event. And then there was a jiu-jitsu tournament in the back, and it was like all levels too. There was like a lot of little guys up to, you know, men. I've never been to a jiu-jitsu tournament.
It's pretty wild. It's cool.
Yeah.
They're kind of chaos. Like there's a sense when you go to a jiu-jitsu tournament that it's like a money-making operation for someone.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, there have to be age division, belt division, and weight division. So you can only imagine it's like,
yeah, that's a lot, right?
Dude.
We're like a wrestling tournament, you know, you got age and weight. You don't have to have like skill level, you know, so yeah.
Hundreds of divisions, dude. It's
right.
it's fucking absolutely nuts. And then it's crazy. But I do like taking my kids to them. It's chaos. Never have I gone to a jiu-jitsu tournament where all 3 of my boys actually participated. You know, there's always one that cries or gets hurt, or you know what I mean? There's always,
of course, man. How old are the boys now?
6, 6, and 8.
Nice. Yeah, they're getting up there.
And
are they homeschooled?
Homeschooled.
Nice.
Yeah. They're done with their school by 9 or 10 in the morning every day.
Yeah.
And then I take them out. Then it's PE just the rest of the day.
I mean, if they yeah, that's exactly it, right? Like it's probably like 2 hours of learning in a fucking 8-hour school day.
And when these guys sit down and do their schoolwork, they sit down and do their schoolwork. There's no like,
yeah.
I don't even know if they think it is. I don't know what they think it is. I should ask them. It's kind of weird when I go out and people are like, "What grade are you in?" to them, and I'm like, "Fuck, I hope you know the answer," because I don't even know the answer. You know what I mean? Like,
do you think at a certain point you'll put them into school for sports and stuff like that?
No.
You don't even think high school? Nothing?
No.
Really?
Yeah. I can't tell what's going to happen, right? Because I live in Santa Cruz, but and I say this probably with I probably need way more humility in this, but like they're already like, it's hard to go anywhere where there's anyone better than them at anything. You know what I mean? They're the best. We go to any skate park I go to, they're the best. Any jiu-jitsu tournament, they're winning the golds. Any tennis tournament, like they're just the things that we do every single day, multiple times a day. And they, you know what I mean? It's just, they're just savages. And when they're in the backyard catching lizards, they're the best at catching lizards. It's just what they do. They're never, and they're nice kids because they're never in a, like they trip on other kids because other kids are kind of mean, right? Like when
Yeah.
they get around a lot of kids in like the
Yeah,
dick
man,
measuring
for sure.
contest and just like they don't have any of that. So in one hand, maybe the thing that they are missing out is on socializing. That they're just not ass. Like here's this. Check
I don't
this
think
out,
there's
Josh.
anything wrong with that, right? Like your kids don't need to be assholes. I mean, there's enough
No.
assholes in the world.
So they went to this AOJ. They've been training there twice a day while we're here in Newport, right? 2 classes a day there. And when the classes leave, you bow out and you shake hands with your coach. I have not seen one other kid shake the coach's hand or make eye contact. They slap the hand and go to the next coach. My kids are the only ones I've seen out of fucking 100 kids do that.
Wow.
And
That's
it's
crazy.
like, oh, it's crazy. And my kids even said, he goes, they're really in a rush to get out of there. You know what I mean?
Well, that's because they have to fucking go sit at school for 8 hours a day.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I get-
Why would you go to this Tampa thing, but you didn't go to the games? Hotspot. Well, why weren't you at the games? Everyone wanted to see you. Why weren't you at the games?
You know, I thought in my mind I was gonna go to the games, and then it just kind of snuck away from me.
Just other
Yeah.
shit. Like you
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm
it's-
gonna go. That'll be fun. I'm gonna hang out, and then
Yeah, I wanted to go and kind of have like something going on there, do some sort of activations and stuff like that, but just didn't. I just be honest, I had poor planning, you know, on my part. And then the Tampa Bay games that happened. That Chris, the guy who runs that, he called me up quite a while ago and we set that up. So
that was that.
yeah.
And when you say activations at the games, mean like release a new coffee, release a new shirt, like do something so it makes it worth your while. Have something like fun there
like
to
that-
get behind,
yeah,
like
like-
have a purpose there.
have
not
a
just be
purpose there,
and
not
be
just-
like,
not
hey,
just-
love me, I'm Josh Bridges.
Yeah, and I just go there and, you know, watch people work out. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love watching the games. I watched it all weekend. And I, you know, in my head I was like, I should have been there. And next year we will be. You know, but like doing workouts and shit like that, right? Like that shit's fun. I like, you know, working out with the community and, you know, basically being part of it. Yeah, bring coffee, bring whatever, and just hang out and have a good time.
The camps, are you still doing the camps?
Yeah, but we don't have any scheduled right now. We will schedule one probably here soon for the end of this year.
Has life gotten too good for you?
Well,
What the
I'm
fuck is
getting,
going
I'm,
on?
get- I'm
No
getting
pay in
married.
shirts, no games, no camps.
I'm getting married, dude.
Oh, when is that?
Soon, like in a couple weeks.
And so are you nervous when you say that with like some apprehension? You all in?
No, I'm
No.
I'm all in. Yes.
Okay.
Just busy, you know, like getting shit ready. And then do kids sports, man. Like,
Right. Well, that
like-
is true. Every time I feel like whenever we touch base, you're always either
Dude.
with your kids or at some kids event. You're like, hey, I can't talk. I'm driving, or you
dude,
text
it's
back
like
on.
it doesn't stop, man. I'm not exaggerating when like during the summer, we didn't have a summer because every weekend was 8 to 12 hours at a baseball field. Every like Saturday and Sunday, both days. Like, and I'm not exaggerating one bit. Anybody that has a kid that plays travel baseball knows that I'm not I'm not lying.
You're driving, feeding them, or they're playing.
Exactly. And, you know, and then, so the summer just kind of like got back, and we had like 4 travel trips. Like we went to Cooperstown, New York for like 9 days. Went to Phoenix, went to Albuquerque, you know, went into the mountains for a mountain tournament. You know, it's just like right now my life is those boys and, you know, making sure that they, are having cool experiences and growing as people and athletes. And, you know, for me, like, obviously I'm still doing my thing, but it's just not like the priority.
Are you still, the thing that stuck with me the most the last time you were on the show is that you said you cook a steak for your boys every single day. You still doing that?
Yeah, man. We still eat a lot of steak.
God, you're a stud.
I bought a whole
dude.
I bought a whole cow, man. And we're like 4 months ago, and we probably have like a quarter of it left. Like we eat a lot of red meat.
Joe Westerland, it's not even baseball season, and I spent my entire Sunday yesterday on a baseball field with his son.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's nuts. It is travel baseball it's a lot, you know, and it's cool. Is it a money-making thing? Probably some of it is. But they're getting to play. They're getting some cool experiences. They're traveling.
I don't care. I want someone to get rich off the jiu-jitsu tournaments, right? Like, yeah, good on you.
like-
Let someone make money off the kids' tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, someone's
Right?
going to
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
point, you know. I mean, and because it's probably
You said it like it was bad, like some
right.
Wokest. I was just getting a little disappointed.
No,
in you,
man.
Josh.
That's where we live.
Okay.
That's where we
All
live,
right,
baby. That's where we live.
all right, all right.
And so yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's just a lot, and that definitely takes up a lot of my time. And I'm not complaining one bit. I love it. You know, I mean,
of course.
it's
You
just,
you only do what you want to do, right?
yeah, man. Like I don't have a boss.
And you want to spend time with your sons.
Exactly. I want, like, my dad, we didn't have a relationship. And, you know, I remember being a kid and being like, seeing my buddies with their dad and being like, you know, damn, I wish I had that. And so like, for me, it was, you know, it's been so much, and maybe I'm going overboard in the opposite direction, but I'm okay with that. You know?
Yeah, do it. Me too.
I'm okay
with it too.
I never want my kids to be like, I'd rather my kids be like, oh, my dad was a fucking, you know, he kind of pushed me too hard, than my dad didn't teach me shit.
Travis said that I think it's ESPN or HBO or someone has reached out to him and said like, hey, we want to do a piece on helicopter dads who are like overbearing in their kids' lives. And he said, so they're going to do it on me. And he said, and they're looking like for like little side characters. Will you do it? I said, fuck yeah, I'll do it. Like, I'm so proud of being a helicopter dad. I'm more than like, the tennis coach will be like, hey dude, you know, you're the only parent here watching your kids play tennis. I'm like, motherfucker, I had these kids so that I could watch them.
Yeah.
Like I needed
friends.
They cry when you walk away. I go, well, that's their problem. They figure that shit out. But I mean, what my kids don't do is they don't hit the ball. I've also seen the tennis coach, Josh, kids hit the ball and then look over at their parents, and the tennis coach will come over and be like, hey dude, you can't be here. You can't stand here. My kids don't do that. You know what I mean? They're not like constantly looking to me for approval after every hit.
Right.
But I'm there. Like I came there to watch you move. I find your stroke fucking beautiful. I find your serve beautiful. When I go to the jiu-jitsu tournament, I'm not like over at the snack shack while they're wrestling. I'm fucking biting my nails, losing my mind.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between a helicopter parent is a term that you probably don't want. And I don't think that that's what you are. I think that there are parents who I would consider a helicopter parent who's like just super overprotective and don't allow their kids to live life. Right. Where obviously you're not doing that. Right. A helicopter parent is like this protective person that puts their kid in some bubble wrap and fucking like lets them walk around the world without getting, I don't know, hurt or live real experiences. Right. I don't consider myself that. I am definitely very involved with my kids, and I want to be involved, and I want them to be like, I want them to be their own men, but I also want them to be like, realize that, hey, if they need some, dad's there.
Yeah.
So
I want them to feel very comfortable with me to a point where it'd be like, hey dude, you're not giving, like, shouldn't they have friends to say that to? No, I'm here. I'm good.
Yeah.
You tell me whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah. Same.
What about phone for your, does your oldest want a phone?
They have phones now.
They have. Oh, Josh, what have you done?
I know. I would definitely like.
Oh no.
I try to limit them as much as possible. Like they don't have any social media, none whatsoever.
But do they have a browser? How do you keep them away from porn? Don't they want to look up? Like if I was a little kid, I'd be looking up crazy shit, dude. I would be looking up crazy shit.
And you know what I mean? Like they definitely have restrictions on their phones where they can't look at a lot of stuff. But I'm sure there's still ways to figure it out. But their mom can actually see like what he sees on his phone, and so it's not as easy as it sounds. There's definitely ways to still be like, yeah, you
VPN. He's probably got a VPN already.
Yeah, right. He's probably got a burner phone.
Yes. Yes.
But no, yeah, like so. It just for us, it's kind of like now it's kind of a little bit necessary where they're off doing sports, and sometimes we're not there, and sometimes we're not with them. But you know, you also know where they're at. You know, so it's nice. Nice to see that. And man, like you also have to start to trust your kids, right? You have to start to give them the rope, you know, let that rope out a little bit, and let them become adults and let them have to make decisions on their own and not make the decisions for them. And so, you know, we held off as long as possible. Well, not as long as possible. That's a bad way to put it, but we held off, you know, for a while. And then when I felt like my older guy, he got his last year, and then my little guy got his a year later. And so, you know, kind of like tried to make it be like the same age when they got their phones. And, you know, they're definitely restricted to time on it and no social media and things like that. But yeah, man, like sometimes you just gotta let the rope out, like let them be men and make this. That's kind of my goal in life, right? To show them the proper way, or give them habits, right? Let them build habits and have to make decisions on themselves for themselves when I'm not there. And that's what I keep telling them. I keep telling them, I'm like, yeah, you can eat shit. You can eat junk. Like I could let you eat all the cookies and trash that you want all the time. But guess what? At some point, I'm not going to be the one there telling you can or can't have this. And you're going to have to make the decision yourself. And, you know, and it's just getting to that point, right? Like my kids are 13 and 11. Like Jack's going to be in high school next year. So
crazy.
I know, man. I know. He was
you
at that
first. You ever think about homeschooling?
I mean, not at this point. You know, I mean,
you ever asked to be homeschooled?
No, neither of them have ever. Jack is very social. He likes his buddies. He likes his friends. Knox is definitely a little more homebody. He likes, he's a little more quiet and can definitely do shit on his own and be happy, where Jack's like needs buddies. Kind of needs.
What about your next kid you're going to have? Are you going to homeschool that one?
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if that's if we have another kid, we'll see.
We'll see. Look at see that, guys. See that? That's a master interview.
I'll be like you. I'll be like 55 with a fucking 8-year-old.
51.
Yeah.
51.
Crazy.
So someone mentioned the crack pipe. I found one time recently. I was at the skate park, right? So when I'm at the when I go places with the boys, I'll scout the place, right? Especially like skate park. So while they're skating, I walk around the skate park, look at the ground for like bottle caps or rocks, or I pick up all the trash. I don't want them to like hit. One of my kids one time dropped in on a 18-foot vert wall, and then down at the bottom hit a bottle cap or something and flew off his board. It's like the worst accident he's had. So I do that. And I was at this one skate park the other day, and I went in the bathroom just to look around in case the kids went in there, and there was a fucking crack pipe in there.
It's good times right there, man.
Yeah, you ever seen a crack pipe at one of your kids' events, or is that you ever seen a crack pipe at one of your kids' events? Come on.
When I was a kid, we used to walk to school. And
when I was a kid, I used to walk to school.
We did.
Josh Bridges. That's your shirt.
We did walk to school, and we didn't live that far. Maybe, I mean, back in the day, it felt like probably 2 miles, but it was probably like 800 meters, maybe half a mile to school.
Right.
But we lived in a pretty, rough part of St. Louis. And I remember finding like
for those you don't know, St. Louis is a shithole. Go on, Josh.
Fact. And we lived in North County, which is like really shitty. And we used to find like needles and syringes on the way to school, like like right next to the street and shit like that. I remember that as a kid.
Did you find so many that you weren't even shocked by them anymore, or every time you saw one were you like, oh my God? Or did you get used to it?
No, I think it was still kind of a shock when you found him. It wasn't like this like extreme or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely it definitely stood out. It stands out in my mind. I remember as a kid, and I don't remember much as a kid.
I've been shooting peptides for a couple months.
Oh, that's why you're glowing skin.
No, I've been at the beach too much this last 2 weeks. But dude, even when I see you, I have to shoot it with like a little insulin needle into my bicep where I'm shooting it. This BPC where I hurt my bicep, and every time I do it, I look at the needle. I think like I get like I'm like some sort of hardcore drug addict. You know what I mean? Even like at 51, I'm like, oh my God, I have a needle. I sure as fuck don't let my kids see them.
Yeah.
Like it would be this horrible thing if they saw dad with a needle. I don't know why. I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but in my mind, it's horrible.
That's really funny because so after my knee surgery in 2019, I was on blood thinners and I had to go home and I had to give myself a blood thinner shot every day for like
stomach.
Yeah. And stomach.
Yeah.
Yep. And they fucking hurt. But I remember feeling kind of weird because there would be days where I'd be like, hey, asking my son, hey, will you grab because they're just like prepackaged needles with the medicine already in them. And I was like, I felt kind of weird doing it.
Oh, grab me a Coors Light and my needles, please. Grab me a can, son.
Yeah.
Dude, I fetched so many beers for my dad out of the fridge and my uncles. So many.
Yeah.
And then I remember like all of a sudden, like in the 9th grade or something, 8th grade, watching TV, and there would be like some like PSA on how you shouldn't do that. I'm like, motherfucker, why are you showing this PSA during a cartoon hour? Show it when my dad watches TV.
Right, exactly.
Like all you told me is now my dad's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like I like going and getting him a beer.
Makes you feel important.
Yeah, I'm helping.
I'm helping.
And then I would open it for him. It was the kind where you just you would tear the piece off, right? It was like just and then
yeah, old school cans.
Yeah.
Was it Bush? Was it Bush?
You know, he would drink Coors. They didn't have Coors Light back then, and he would drink this one.
I was real men back then, you know.
It was just piss water, and then he would drink this one that was just in a yellow can, and it just was it was just generic. It actually said generic, and it just had a barcode on it.
No shit.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah,
it just said generic.
Yeah, just beer. It said beer. It was like a Simpsons cartoon. Just beer.
Beer, exactly.
Yeah. Love it, man.
What's the worst injury one of your kids has sustained, and did it change your perspective or the way you treat them or the way you did your parenting?
There's been a few injuries, nothing crazy. The weirdest thing that happened was Jack I was actually I was in London doing one of the Metcon releases, and I get a call from
that's the shoe, the Nike shoe.
Yeah, the Nike shoe.
Okay.
Sorry. And I get a call from
for the 3 people who don't do CrossFit who are listening. I was trying to
right. Nike Metcon shoe, which is the CrossFit shoe, the CrossFit trainer. We were doing one of the releases there, and I just remember like getting a phone call from their mom, my ex-wife at the time, and just being like, Jack's in the hospital and he has really high blood pressure. And then I was like,
and you're like, no problem. Call me later. I'm just going to finish this out with the shoe.
And so I'm like freaking out, you know,
now all of a sudden your blood pressure was higher than his.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, tell me more. What's going on? Like, what's going on? And like, the doctors just didn't know. They couldn't figure it out. I'm like, how did you even know that he had high blood pressure? And she said he was just like jumping up and down on the couch, and like, he was just acting really weird. He wasn't himself. And so she took him to the hospital, and yeah, like his blood pressure was like an insane number. I can't even remember what the numbers were, but they were like, for an adult, it would have been like 220 over like 160 or something crazy. Right. And so I immediately go to, you know, the people I'm with, and I'm like, hey man, I gotta get on a plane right now and like go home. Like, I don't know what's going on. And the worst part about it was that was still when like you didn't have cell phones. You couldn't get like Wi-Fi on international travel planes yet. And so like, I was just so nervous and so scared that like, because I had 12 hours where I didn't have service, I couldn't get contact, didn't know what the hell was going on. So I'm like getting off, like once the plane landed in San Diego, you know, turned my cell phone service on to find out what the fuck was going on. And that was really scary. And we were in the hospital for, I think it was like 14 days.
Wow.
Because his blood pressure wouldn't come down.
I remember this now.
This was, I feel like it was like 2015. So he was like 5, maybe.
Okay. I don't remember. Okay. Maybe it's the story before.
Yeah, I think I might have told you the story, but yeah, it was crazy. And so so we were in the hospital for 2 weeks. It was in a military hospital, and every fucking day. So military hospitals are a little weird, right? You don't get assigned a doctor, right? You get the doctor of the day. And so every fucking day the doctor would come in and be like, it was almost like day 1 for 14 days. Right. And I finally got to a fucking point, and I was like, hey, and they gave him every test under the book. There was one point where they put a catheter in him, and he started screaming, and the nurse was like, he needs to calm down. I looked at him and I go, you're putting a fucking tube where a tube doesn't go. You need to shut the fuck up. And I was like, I mean, at this point, you know, we're like day 10 in at the hospital. Yeah. And it was a rough experience.
Did they call security on you?
No, they didn't. Because they were using the wrong size tube. After that, they realized like that's why he was getting so upset.
Aren't you so glad you stood up for him?
Yeah, of course. I was like,
there's times I didn't stand up for my kid when I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
And I was like,
always stand up.
I was like, fuck you. I was like, you need to. Yeah. I'm like, he's 5 years old and you're putting a tube where a tube doesn't go. You would be the same way. So shut the fuck up. Yeah. And I was I mean, I was telling doctors, I was like, you need to go get the fuck out of the room. Like we're not here. It's not day 1. This is day 12, day 13. Like, don't fucking come in here asking me what's going on with my son. Yeah. It was an experience. And they finally, what they had to do was they just finally put him on a blood pressure medicine. It came down, and then they weaned him off the blood pressure medicine, and his blood pressure has never been the same. So I don't know if it was like a virus that he got. Like,
meaning it's never gone back up. It's just back to normal now.
Yeah, it's been back to normal ever since, and he's never had any
issues.
It
was a virus. It was something like that. He had some sort of infection, right? Probably.
It was something. Yeah, it was something, but they were testing him for everything, and nothing was like showing up. And so it must have been some sort of like, that was like the only conclusion we ever came to, because he had to go to, the special doctors to like figure out blood pressure, like why. And
is he off all that shit?
Oh yeah. He was only on it for like 6 months.
God,
and then,
so happy that's behind you.
Or 3 months. Yeah, it was crazy. Other than that, it was like, not my little guy broke his arm once, and whatever. It was kind of funny. He comes in from a skateboarding accident. He fell on a skateboard, and my mom's like, his grandma is like, I think he broke his arm. And I'm like, Mom, I'm like, Mom, be quiet. Like, he didn't break his arm. He's just hurt.
Come on, you're going to get him agitated.
Yeah,
his arm is broken. Chill the fuck out.
And then I look at Knox, and I look at my little guy, and I'm like, what's wrong, buddy? Like, tell me what you think, what's going on? He goes, I think I broke my arm, Dad. And I was like, all right, fine. So I take him to the emergency room, and sure as shit, he broke his arm. And so I was like, okay, lesson learned.
When my kid broke his elbow or his arm or something, so we go in and do the x-ray, and they're like, his arm's broken. And then I'm like, oh, but I don't see it. And I'm looking at the x-ray. They're like, it's right there. I'm like, I don't see it. And they're like, it's right there. I'm like, well, do you see it? And they're like, well, we don't really see it either.
Was it a bulge fracture? That's what his was, because their bones are they're not fully developed. That's the story they started telling me. Well, you can't actually see it. I'm like, how the fuck do you know it's broken then? Right.
You just told me you can see it. I'm looking at the fucking x-ray. Well, it's broken. I'm like, dude, that looks like a perfect bone to me.
Yeah. So what they said was it was called a bone. It's called a bulge break. And when they're younger like that, what happens is the bone actually kind of like puffs out.
Yeah.
And if it was us that did what he did, it would have been you would have seen a fracture, like a crack. Where when they're younger, because their bones are not as hard. They're like, I guess, like more of like a cartilage, I guess, kind of thing. So the bone will actually just bulge out, and it's considered a bulge fracture.
Oh, interesting.
And that's what Knox had.
Hey, have you ever had exertional compartmental syndrome?
No.
Are you familiar with it? Compartmental syndrome, like it's probably happens in the military a lot.
Like in calves, right? It happens in calves a lot.
Yeah, if you get kicked, or
it's like compartment syndrome, right?
Compartment syndrome. Like there could be an explosion or something could drop on you, but it basically it's trauma, and then
isn't where like there's like a buildup, and like it's not like the blood's not like coming, like it's like they have to almost like release.
Yeah, something. Wherever it is, you won't have a pulse anymore.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't know it all that well. No. So
the other day, my kid did 100 burpees for time, and his left arm started doing some weird shit. And I looked up compartmental. I thought maybe he had rhabdo or something, and it was just bugging him and throbbing, and it lasted for days. And eventually I was like, I wonder if this is exertional compartmental syndrome. I was just wondering if you knew.
I've never heard of that from burpees. That's crazy. He
was going hard. It was 100 degrees in the garage, and his record for 100 burpees was 420, and he wanted to break it. He did not break it.
That's pretty good, man. That's 25 burpees. That's just over 25 burpees a minute. That's solid.
And he was usually when he does burpees, he would like do them like fast burpees. And at like 40, I noticed this jackass was like doing strict burpees, like doing push-ups and shit. And I'm like, oh, he's fucked. I just knew at that point. He got to like 50 burpees at 2 minutes. I'm like, he's fucked. I knew.
Oh my gosh, that's funny, man. I made my kid. That's not funny. Sorry. Your kid guy. Is his arm better?
I think he's better. I think he's better now. It's been a week, but it does. When my kids, I was gonna say, when my kids get injured, it makes it. My kid got really. Avi got kicked in the stomach one time in jiu-jitsu practice and fucked his bladder up, and he did not. He said his pee and shit was all weird for like 8 months. Like he just didn't feel comfortable down there. Sorry, not 8 months, 8 weeks. And so he wouldn't do tennis. He wouldn't do jiu-jitsu. He didn't want to do skateboarding. He didn't want anyone near him. He always needed to be near a bathroom. Like he was tripping.
That's weird.
Yeah, I never got it checked out.
You never got checked out?
No, but
good for you. Way to be a good dad. I like that.
At that point,
you want to talk about not being a helicopter dad? I like that.
At that point,
they'll
Josh,
figure this shit out.
Oh, actually, that's not true. I did take him to the doctor. That's not true. I did take him to the doctor. I took him to like 2 or 3 doctors. That's actually, now that I think about it, I did. Yeah. But I waited a few weeks. I just remembered. Yeah, I actually did.
Man,
but anyway, they never found anything. But at that point, I realized that's why when I go to jiu-jitsu tournaments and my kids cry or they don't compete, or we go to the skate park and they don't want to do it, or we go to like at AOJ, one of my kids won't do both classes. He'll only do one. I don't even care. As long as they're in the game, as long as they're behaving, as long as they sit on the mat, as long as they're respectful, as long as they're in the game, they're at the skate park, you know, watching that. Like, I don't care. I'm not because before I really wanted them to be the best at everything. You're going to be the best skateboarder. Now I don't even give a fuck. The pressure's off. I do not want an injured kid. I want a healthy kid.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I mean, he's not going to sit there on the iPad.
Yeah.
But and it's working. You know what I mean? Once a month, the kid will get to the skate park and he just won't skate. But the other 29 days,
I think it's definitely intelligent.
It's like what you said earlier. Trust him. I trust him.
Yeah,
I trust you. You're not doing it today. Fine, you're not doing it today. It's not like some sort of like thing that's like you're missing weeks. You know?
Right. And exactly, man. Like I think parents get so over the top, but they think their kids have to be the best first and the best, right, at everything. And it's like, man, you're going to develop at different times, and I think that as long as your kid's growing and you're seeing like progression, that's all that really matters.
Hey, I want to ask you a couple things about Rogue. Are you going to the Rogue Invitational?
I am.
The thing is, I think I have oh yeah. I have to use the bathroom, and I got this 2-minute and 40-second commercial, and I have to run upstairs to use the bathroom. So I'm going to play this 2-minute and 40-second commercial, and then I want to ask you about Rogue. You cool with that? Did I lose you, Josh?
No, I'm still here. You're going to leave for 2.5 minutes?
You're not going to be here. You're not going to have to do anything. The commercial's going to play. Okay.
Straight commercial break.
Yeah, straight commercial break.
All right.
My old mattress was fucking trash. It was so hot. I couldn't control the temperature. My wife's boyfriend, everybody was pissed about how hot it was. It was crazy. And you know what? I'm done with the battle. You want different temperatures. You can make that happen. You could have your temperature. She could have her temperature. The dude next to her could have his temperature. Doesn't matter. It's all good. This episode is brought to you by 8 Sleep. Summer is reaching its apex, and there's nothing worse than tossing and turning and sweating your hog off at night because of the summer heat. The pod cover by 8 Sleep will keep you cool all night long, baby. All the way down to 55 degrees. Crazy, right? 55 degrees? Your mattress couldn't even dream of that. So you wake up fully refreshed. The pod cover by 8 Sleep fits on any bed, like a fitted sheet, slips on nice and easy. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting the temperature on each side of the bed based on your and your partner's individual needs. And it adjusts based on the phases of your sleep in the environment that you are in. Now, I thought I was sleeping good before, but I realized that wasn't until I got the pod cover. I love 8 Sleep because I could adjust mine down to a brisk 68 degrees. She has hers set at 70. I don't know why. She's crazy. She likes it hot like a sauna, but it's cool because they both adjust. You could do whatever you want. It's improved my mental health. Why? Because I actually sleep. And let's just say it might have improved the relationship a little bit too. When you sleep better, you're less stressed. 8 Sleep kills it. Okay, it's awesome. Packaging shows up just like any other package would, just like your DoorDashed food. You just bring it in the living room, open it up, let it fold, let it breathe. The pod cover has other amazing features. For example, thanks to pod sleep and health tracking, you can wake up to a personalized sleep report for you each morning that offers insights on how certain behaviors, like late night exercise or caffeine, impact your sleep and overall health. Maybe other.
Speaking of late night caffeine,
are you back on?
51 seconds. Yeah. Hey, that's only the 3rd or 4th time in the show's history where I had to drop a deuce.
Nice. That's a quick, dude. I couldn't even. I would just have to hold it.
Dude, I had to run. I'm downstairs in a condo, and I can't use this bathroom here because it's in the bedroom where someone's sleeping. I had to run.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just ran, dropped a deuce, and ran back.
Good job.
God bless a minute and 51 seconds. That's a 2-minute, 41-second commercial. I did that deuce in a minute and 50. That was good.
I love it. Nice work.
Okay. I did wipe. Someone says, Vittori says you didn't wipe. I wiped.
With your hand?
My hand held toilet paper. You got high blood pressure.
I don't get I'm not getting the comments. The last comments on here is like 9:30. It's an hour ago.
I'm over on YouTube and I'm I have another screen over here where I can see I can't bring anything up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the last comment was Josh is going to run the show.
That's right. I do run the show.
Okay. Are you going to Rogue?
Yes.
Why did you text me this morning not to ask you about Rogue?
You know the reason. Like we're not talking about anything, so don't even fucking bring it up.
Like don't ask like how many workouts there's going to be.
Yeah.
That would be inappropriate.
Yes.
Don't ask if it's more heavy lifting traditionally like Rogue is known for.
Exactly.
Don't ask stuff like that.
Don't ask that question. That's right.
Don't ask is there any new implements being introduced at the Rogue? Don't ask that.
Don't ask it.
I'm gonna go through a few more that I'm not supposed to ask here.
Okay, good.
Hey, are you gonna be okay? How about this? Were you involved in the? How are you involved? Are you friends with Bill and Katie? Start something big. Are you friends with Are you friends with Bill Henniger? Do you know who Bill Henniger is?
I know who they are. Yes, I would consider them friends.
And do you have them in your phone? In your phone? Like, could you call them?
Yes.
Okay. And you are attending Rogue.
Yes.
And it doesn't conflict with your wedding?
No, it's not until October. I don't remember the exact dates, but it's late October. Basically, like Halloween weekend, I believe.
Okay. And you will be in attendance.
I'll be there.
Will you be on the field of play?
Yeah, we're doing Legends again. Yes.
Oh, you're going to do that?
Yeah, same one as the one before.
I thought you were more in an administrative position with Rogue, the event.
No more questions, man.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I see. There could then be a conflict of interest.
No, because there's no like winner of the Legends. The Legends is just it's just like a showcase.
You know, Jason's going to be bummed if you know the workouts before him. He's very competitive, this Jason Khalid.
But it's team events typically. Okay. So it doesn't matter. We're good.
All right. It's fine.
All right. Enough.
You can take the smoke. Are you excited about it? It's going to be a fun event. God, please ask Josh something about the event. It could call her. Hi, please ask Josh something about Rogue. Go ahead.
Anything about Rogue?
Yeah. Any question? He's Josh is here representing Rogue.
I'm not here doing fucking shut the fuck up.
Fielding any questions you have that Bill and Katie were unable to answer there in the Seychelles right now, and so they've sent Josh.
All of this is false. Don't ask me anything about Rogue
from Canada. Go ahead.
But I appreciate it.
Well, I'll tell you what. My favorite shirt is a Josh Bridges shirt from Rogue.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Just quick, it's funny. I was just emceeing at a CrossFit competition up here in Canada, just a local event. And we were kind of just going through a lot of like the way, we're getting back into, way CrossFit is kind of climbing up again and the competitions are wanting to come back. And, it's been amazing watching all these athletes coming back and the communities are coming back into the fold. My question is, one of the questions that got brought up, we were kind of talking about at this competition was the PFA or the union type mentality that the athletes want to have, a professional league and all this other stuff. Me personally, I feel that, say, Brent and Pat, who are kind of organizing the PFA, that they're barking up the wrong tree when it comes to CrossFit and the games. I feel that CrossFit is a certification company with a methodology that's amazing, and it's a community-based event starting with the Open all the way to the games. I would think that Brent and those guys, or the union or future union, would have a better chance at barking up the tree of someone from Dubai or the United Emirates with billions of dollars and start like what the Live Tour did with golf. Start off with a 5-event world tour, pay those athletes, not a lot of money, but a starter so they can live off of. Whereas I feel like with Dave and Adrian, I kind of use the same quote as what Dana White did. The games and the Open and all that stuff and CrossFit.com and blah, blah, blah. That's the opportunity that those people can take. It's just an opportunity. They're not there to pay you. You can do whatever you want with it. Just your thoughts on that. Like,
do you think basically like a live tour type event would do well, Josh, with CrossFit or the sport of CrossFit?
I think that you're correct in the way that they're probably barking up the wrong tree. I don't think that I do wish that the athletes had more representation in the way that they could argue sometimes or have leverage when it comes to correcting mistakes that can be made on either way, right? The judges, whether it's for or against the athletes. I think that there should be more representation for the athlete, but I don't know if starting a union is the correct thing for CrossFit athletes. I kind of like where your head's at with a live type tour. The hard part about that is finding the correct athletes, right? Because athletes in the CrossFit space typically have short lifespans and you only see a select few. And then those athletes have to pick and choose which events that they do outside of the CrossFit realm. The open, the sanctional and the games. Typically a game like an event like Rogue is going to be a great one because it pays so well. Wadapalooza is, that's kind of on one of those as well, maybe. But like other than that, for those upper echelon athletes, I don't see them wanting to do that many more events. And so unless they did get paid really well, it probably wouldn't be worth it for them.
Well, and that's exactly it. I think the fact that they are, I'm not saying bitching and complaining up the wrong tree. I would just say,
is this Pat Vellner? Because this sounds like Pat Vellner, doesn't it? Is this just me?
No, but I put it this way. I live in Kelowna. I live in the same town as Fikowski. So
okay, I'm like, you sound like Pat Vellner. Like you could fool me. You could call me and be like,
"Hey, I agree." The comments say that too. It's Pat. It's Pat.
Yeah.
No, it's not Pat. But yeah, no, it's interesting because I think that they should, like, if you've ever been to a live event, apparently I had a friend of mine that went to the one in Mexico and it was amazing. It's not the PGA, but it's a totally different experience. It's almost like little Wadapaloozas on a 5-tour event.
And they also had an insane amount of money to back that and bring over the correct athlete, or bring over upper echelon athletes, right? You had guys, Cam Smith, was top 3 in the world when he came over. Bryson DeChambeau, one of the bigger names in the PGA. They brought him over. Phil Mickelson, a legend of, Brooks Koepka, they brought over some huge names to bring over people would actually want to go watch. Where if they only brought in lower echelon athletes or players, then it wouldn't have done as well. And I don't think there would be as many people there. So to do what you're saying.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that Brent and Pat and whoever else is involved should be going to the guys in Dubai and proposing like a 5-stop tour around the world. You'd obviously have to find the right guy to do it that wants to just drop, millions of dollars to do this. But to me, that would be an amazing way. Plus, because CrossFit wants to separate itself from a sport and a certification.
I just don't think that it would be really hard to do. And I'm not saying it couldn't be done. You'd have to pull away some of the top athletes from the sport to get them over to do that, to still be able to compete, or to be able to compete and then not have to do the games or like a Rogue or any of those other events that pay out, because that's how that's also how they're, making their living and building their brands. Now they have to take a gamble where the athletes on the live tour didn't really have to gamble because they were giving so much money. You know what I mean? Like there was no gamble there. It was like,
no one's going to do that for CrossFit.
Yeah. Like it would just be like,
the only person who could do it for CrossFit would be someone like Rogue, ironically. And this isn't to dig at anyone. It's just that, but I just want to put things to scale for people who don't know. The golf sells a $10 billion in golf balls every single year, just balls, the ball business. And to put that in perspective, that's the entire revenue for the NBA. The entire revenue. This fucking
Golf
sport
is
sells more in
crazy.
golf balls than the entire revenue of the NBA. I mean, so it's
the
amount
amount
of
of
money,
money,
whole nother level.
the amount of money in golf is insane.
I heard one weekend more money is spent on golf than the entire NFL fucking ecosystem.
Yeah,
because of all the golf courses and clubs.
Exactly. Think about everyone has a set of golf clubs in their
Not
garage.
Not me.
That's because you're a loser. But
every non-loser,
most
men
and women can go golfing. Like anybody can do it. You don't have to even be good at it.
Non-binary. I'm non-binary. You can't pigeonhole me. I don't have golf clubs. Non-binary.
Golf is a different thing. It's a different beast, and everyone can go do it, and everyone can go compare themselves. And it's there's courses on every corner. It's definitely becoming more exposed. It's not just a game for like the rich people anymore, like where you kind of used to be. I felt like it was definitely more of a game for people who were wealthy. And so it's just hard to compare anything to golf.
Just so you know, Josh just exposed himself. That's because Josh has so much fucking money now. He's lost perspective.
False.
Caller, thank you.
No, it's good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anytime you're up in Canada, Josh, more than welcome to take you golfing.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Did you say Josh or Sevan?
Sevan. Yeah.
Douche. Call my show and invite my guest somewhere.
That's right, man. Don't you forget it either, pal.
Golf.
Not your guest. You're my guest.
Hey, weren't Bill and Katie making a bike? There was a bike they were making. Did that ever happen?
I have no idea.
Must have been that third booster. pushing through one of the aortas. Pushing through my. Do you have multiple aortas? Or just one aorta. Who knows about aortas?
All the aortas.
Pushing through.
Yeah.
Shit. My YouTube station a couple days ago got shadow banned. They throttled me back, and I pulled down some. They don't even tell me why either. I just noticed that all of a sudden. Do you know what impressions are?
No.
On YouTube. So, you go to your YouTube page and there's like, you go to YouTube and it's like your homepage and there's like 500 videos they're suggesting for you. There's ones down the side. There's ones going like this. It's just like fucking videos heaven.
Yeah.
So each time that your video gets put on someone's page, that's called an impression, right? Mm-hmm. So like you can see like if you get like 100,000 impressions like throughout the world, like 4% of them might be clicked on or something. Anyway, all of a sudden I noticed the number of impressions they were giving me on other people's YouTube pages dropped by 30%.
What'd you do?
I had made a couple. I talked about how I wanted. You know how schools have like libraries have like reading hours now. Like you can go and you can take your kid to the library and you can have men who dress up as women read to them. Like it's pretty common practice at libraries across well, I was talking about how I wanted to have like Navy SEAL reading hour, or it's just like you go there and it's like a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
He's reading to your kids, or like an Amish lady. I'd love to like my kids like an Amish lady reading hour. And I talked about how I would like that. It's like more options than just men who'd like to dress as women at the library.
Okay.
And that didn't go over so well.
They didn't like that.
They didn't like that.
They didn't like that. Okay.
They didn't like that so much. I
won't be posting anything like that then. I guess. Good to know.
That got my shit throttled back. There is a monopoly on who can read your kids at the library. And,
it's not a laughing matter, but yeah, interesting.
So I pulled those down and immediately the throttling went away.
Really?
Crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Well, thank you. Thanks for coming on and promoting. Someone in the comments wrote, "Hey, dude, Josh did not sign up for this. Like they think I'm taking advantage of you by accepting calls," which I am. Caller, hi.
What's going on, man? How you guys doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
Josh is pissed. You should have seen how pouty he was when he thought I was going to take a deuce and there wasn't going to be a commercial. His mood was all over his face, like I was going to leave him on here by himself.
I didn't like it. I wasn't happy.
He was ready to fight.
Yeah.
Even though his homeboy had to take a deuce, he can't fucking just hang on and cover for me.
This guy's taking a digger.
No.
He's taking a digger over there.
All right. I would do that for you. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I'm somewhat new to CrossFit, and it's kind of going with the last guy was talking about with the association, the PFAA, I think is what it is. and a couple of like the money being earned and so forth and so on. Overall, from a macro view, hasn't CrossFit year by year been paying their athletes a little bit more each games, and in conjunction with the Rogue Invitational, which I think is a few years old now?
Yeah, shit's growing. You're absolutely right. Every year there's more and more money making opportunities for people who participate in the sport of CrossFit, for sure.
Okay. And then, another thing I was thinking about too is I know CrossFit, I think, goes off of how they pay their athletes kind of with the same schematics as golf for the most part. And I don't know, I was thinking about like the NFL and so forth and so on, like with the way that CrossFit is going, and I know you guys can probably fill me in with a lot of this. The way that CrossFit is going, like, are they trying to make moves that's getting them more established worldwide to be able to get to a level, let's say, like the NFL, where they can pay their athletes more?
What was that question?
How can they make more money? The sport's tiny. Here's the thing, dude. The sport is fucking tiny. Tiny. We just have it's just a massive, it's a half inch of water spread over the planet. You know what I mean? It's just everywhere. Yeah. There's just no, it just, at the end of the day, it just comes down to money. Like how much money is in the ecosystem. And there's just not a shitload of money in the ecosystem. There are obviously remarkable things in the ecosystem, like Rogue, our X bar came out of the ecosystem. But I don't know. I don't know what happened to Progenics, but look, it was everywhere and now it's gone. And so that was a supplement that was in the space. I think it's just a sheer dollar thing. There's no one being the thing can't even carry its own weight. I don't care what anyone says, but the reason why Rogue does an event is because they fucking pay for it because they sell so much equipment. The reason why CrossFit does an event is because they pay for it because they sell so many L1s and affiliate. Like these events are subsidized by other shit. And it's crazy generous that Rogue does this and that CrossFit does it. But other than that, these things aren't floating themselves by any means yet. I don't think. Kudos to Wadapalooza for actually doing it like just straight up. Wouldn't you say, Josh?
For sure.
Yeah. And that's why, I mean, the Rogue event, every time you hear an athlete talk about it, it's like the best event. I mean, for the athlete, they pay for your travel, they get you a hotel room, you fucking get a belt buckle that's one of a kind. The bus is nice that drives you from point A to point B. The food's good. I mean, Bill and Katie just do it top notch,
Okay. Rogue is cool.
And then my last question that I have for you guys is like, where do you see CrossFit, let's just say like in 7 years from today?
It's a good question. I think it'll be, I don't know. I mean, gosh, it's grown so much and then it kind of like plateaued, I felt like a little bit. And then, CrossFit as a company, are you talking about, wait, did you say CrossFit or the games?
CrossFit
as a company
in general. Yeah. CrossFit as a company, like with your guys' knowledge with the knowledge that you guys have and your experience and your expertise, like in the next 7 years, like where would you say CrossFit, the company, is going to be at?
I don't know. I don't really have as much insight on the company. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think it's going to be gone. I think that depending on the leadership at the company, is going to make some huge impacts on it. And so that's a good question, but I really don't have a good answer for it. I think the ideology behind CrossFit is so good though for a training regimen, or just a fitness like lifestyle, is great. It builds community. It builds, everything about it promotes, like a healthy lifestyle. And so that's a positive thing. And I think that when you have something like that, right, it's just going to continue to grow and catch on. CrossFit as a company though, I don't really know, I've never been on the inside. I've never worked for CrossFit. So that's a tough question for me to answer, really.
It's not a fad. Like a lot of people said it was going to be a fad. It's definitely not a fad.
No.
Like Josh said, the methodology is so fucking solid. The question is, and the community could never be bought because you can't buy. That's the weird thing, right? Like this thing was bought and sold and bought or whatever. But the thing is that this thing can't be, no matter how much money you have, you can't buy a community. So there's something about this thing that just grew, right? And so that part of it's unruly, unmanageable, and there's so much unknown. And like, and those people aren't leaving to go to F45 or to go to other equally potent or people, not equally potent, but people in the space. I mean, yeah, CrossFitters do go off to Olympic weightlifting and they go off, but they, at the end of the day, they usually end up coming back. And yeah, they have something, the leadership is something very, very hard to juggle. I agree with Josh. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's definitely not going to go away, but it's the people who own it definitely don't have a firm grasp of what it is yet. It takes a long time to fucking understand what this creature is. It's not McDonald's or M&M or, you know what I mean? It's not selling widgets. Like, what the fuck is this thing? But the leadership is crazy important too. The people who are like, oh, it's just all community. It is not. It is not. It needs a very, very strong leader. It needs a very strong leader with a strong vision. I think of it as more akin to like the military or like Greenpeace. Like we're what's that called? We're like a I can't think of the word. But basically, yeah, like yeah, that's it. Anyway, thank you for calling.
Yeah, appreciate you guys' time. Appreciate that very much.
Advocacy is that? Yeah, like we're advocates for movement and health in a healthy lifestyle. That's what really what when people say community, that's who I think that's what defines a community.
Agreed.
Heidi Kroom, Josh, you don't have to answer these questions. Dude, Josh is cool, guys. Guys.
Thanks, Heidi. Appreciate it.
It reminds me of this guy, Josh. This guy said that there were angels in his house and shit. A guy had on the show. He wrote this book called The UFO of God, and there were like angels and spirits in his house, and God was communicating with them, and he could see the angels running through this hallways and shit. And I'd be like, so what happens when like you're pooping? Will they be in the room then, or like when you're having sex with your wife or you're watching porn? And people thought those questions were inappropriate. I'm like, what? It's inappropriate to like what?
Do the angels leave during those times? Is that what you're asking? That's what you asked the guy?
Well, yeah, like is that like you're trying to make love to your wife and you look over and there's like 3 angels in the room just eating popcorn watching, and it's like,
what?
I just wanted to know. I'd like to know those things. Oh shit, here we go. Please, no more games questions. Someone asked Josh about Rogue, why he programs so many running in it.
Let's ask him about Rogue. What's up, Josh? What's up, Sevan? It's Gabe.
Hey, Gabe.
Oh, who?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Just reminding you that Good Dudes will have a booth at Rogue.
No big deal.
Reminding both of you.
Let's
go.
Of course. Let's go.
What do you get if you say if you say Josh Bridges, do you get 5% off your coffee? If you say Sevan, you get 50% off your coffee?
I like that.
I'm gonna go with no. You guys can pay full price. We're trying to run a business, but yeah, no, we'll figure something out. Just reminding you guys, love you guys.
Thanks,
hey, are you actually going to be serving coffee there, Gabe? Like people can go there and get their caffeine fix?
We will be giving out samples of coffee. We cannot sell coffee there.
Okay, awesome. Okay, because at the games it was like that too, and there was caffeine flowing.
Hey, watch what you say.
Okay, fine.
Way to go, pal.
I gotta go back to roasting.
Okay,
I gotta go back to roasting.
Get it
right.
Yeah, they have a CEO blend. 50% caffeinated, 50% decaffeinated.
I wanted to say something about
Go ahead. I know I set you up for it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm good. I'm gonna be a nice guy.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be a good dude. I'm gonna be.
You have to have a man bun to drink the CEO blend.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. Hey, I'm trying to get you on when. Okay, here we go. When can you talk about Rogue? And would you go on with JR and Taylor? They have a Shut Up and Scribble show, and they'd love to talk to you about programming. Can you do that after the event?
It'll probably be after the event if you're able to. Because we obviously we'll be doing that stuff on the Iron Game, I'm sure. So
Oh, I see. It would be a competing. You're saying you're going to be talking about the programming and things like that on your on internal YouTube videos and whatnot.
Not mine, but
The rogues.
Most
likely. Is that why you're limited to what you can talk about? Not because you're afraid you might leak something, but because
I also don't want. I mean, I don't want to. I just don't want to talk about it, man. Just it's not my place to talk about it.
Jeez,
I'm not the one. I'm not the one running the show. I don't run that show.
You're just a cog.
I just help facilitate.
You're a cog in the wheel.
That's right.
Doesn't make you any less or more important.
Is that what you tell yourself?
Thank you for coming on at all.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry I came on late. I do apologize about that. I should have told you earlier that it was going to be a little bit later, and then the morning mishap with just running later than I thought.
Dude, I pictured you sitting in the closet at your house, like scared. I don't want to go on the show. I'm scared. Like I have it all played out in my head while you were late.
That was pretty much it. That was it. I was just really nervous.
You had to take 12 Valium in order to get out of the closet and come get on the show. You were scared. I trust me. You're not the first guest.
I know you are a scary, intimidating guy.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See you, buddy.
It was really fun talking to you about programming.